After the Lakers hired JJ Redick, many were expecting a big change and a pretty rapid change at that, not willing to be patient for it. And when one did not initially come for their team, looking fairly similar offensively, all around as a team, and even from a record standpoint, many said that Redick was the wrong coach to hire for them, and some even going as far to say that he was not an upgrade over Darvin Ham. And well, that's obviously turned out to be false. Little by little, they've improved throughout the year, and at this point, they've now turned into a very good team and potentially one of the best teams in the entire NBA. And obviously a big part of that has been the blockbuster trade for Luka Doncic. And now with him, Redick has been able to completely change and truly transform their offense, do what he wants to do, and not have to revolve it around the post with Anthony Davis. So we're going to talk about what's different and how it's benefiting their entire team. But before we get too far into it, don't forget to check out g2a.com for the best deals in your favorite games, credits, and everything digital entertainment. You can check them out in the video description down below. But now getting back to our topic. And again, with the addition of Luka Doncic, the Lakers offense has completely changed and really for the better in my opinion. They're doing a lot of different stuff on the court, and like I mentioned before, they're no longer having to revolve their offense in the post and around Anthony Davis. They can now operate more of the three-point line, more through high pick and roll play, and really do what Redick wants to do, and it's definitely affected their team. For example, even with Luka Doncic, who many claim to say that he plays too slow and drags the entire team down with him when he plays that way, that's not been the case for them. Believe it or not, they've actually been playing much faster with him. Up until the trade for Luka Doncic, they were in the bottom half of the league in pace, having a pace rating of only 98.23. But now after the trade, they actually have been playing a whole lot quicker, having a pace rating of about 99.54, about a 1-point differential, and climbing from the bottom 8, now to about league average and a much better fit for their team in my opinion. Not playing too fast where Luka can't keep up, but a little bit faster, definitely benefiting guys like LeBron James, Rui Hachimura, and Austin Reeves for example, while still playing at a somewhat relative pace for Luka Doncic, and him actually kind of buying into that too. If you've actually been watching them play, then you will have seen Luka Doncic get on the fast break with them, either starting it or being a part of it, but definitely contributing to it. Whether it's him throwing a full court or half court pass to LeBron James, or vice versa, LeBron throwing one to him, they've been getting out and running, and Luka's actually been a pretty good fit for it, buying into that mentality and being completely open to it, not against it like many claimed he would or had been up until this point. And yes, we can and I will point it out with the stat. Prior to making the trade, the Lakers were averaging 15.9 fast break points per game, good enough for 14th in the NBA and being around league average, not too shabby. But then after making the trade, the Lakers have jumped up to about 18 fast break points per game, 9th in the NBA, and now being top 10 in fast break points per game. So even with a fat, slow Luka Doncic, quote unquote, I'm sure Nico Harrison would love to hear that and probably has been saying that before, they've actually been playing faster and have been able to take advantage of that part of their offense and overall team identity more than before. And once again, we can point to a stat with that. Prior to making the trade, LeBron, for example, was averaging 4.6 fast break points per game, or for Rui Hachimura, 2 of them per game, or Austin Reeves, 2.2 of them per game. But then after making the trade, LeBron's been averaging about 6.5 fast break points per game. That's about a 2 fast break point per game jump, and that's quite a bit. Or for Rui Hachimura, now averaging 3.2 of them per game, a 1.2 point per game jump. And then for Austin Reeves, now averaging 2.9, up from 2.2. So no matter what way you look at it, pretty much the entirety of their team, and definitely the top half of their team, the guys that like to go out and run, are averaging more fast break points per game with Luka Doncic on their team. Now that's only one small part of it, and definitely not even close to the biggest part, but I did want to point it out. Far too often, Luka gets a bad rep for playing too slow and making teammates accommodate to him rather than him accommodating to them. But up until this point, that's simply not been the case with their team. Even with Luka's preferred style of play or preferred pace of play, at least what people like to claim it is, that's not been a problem and he's actually been accommodating more to them. But then moving away from the full court setting, more to the half court setting, and what's been different here, definitely gotta point out 3-point shooting. I mean, prior to making the trade for Luka Doncic, they were attempting about 33 3-point shots per game, good enough for bottom 4 in the entire league, and again, playing more through the post and around that area rather than the 3-point line. But then after making the trade for Luka Doncic, they've been up to about 42.5 3-point shots per game, good enough for top 5 in the entire league, and that's gotta put a smile to JJ Redick's face. And even with that, still shooting a relatively same percentage. They've had a few off nights, but more so been around league average and for the most part been benefiting their entire offense. Even when they're not making them, they're getting quality shots and a whole bunch of open looks, primarily from Luka Doncic getting double teamed and or blitzed, likely leading to an open 3-point shot for a teammate after he finds them, and a pretty high quality look regardless of if they make it or not. And well, once again, we can point to that with a stat, and more than anything, catch and shoot 3-point shooting, and with LeBron James himself. Prior to making the trade, LeBron was attempting about 2.8 catch and shoot 3-point shots per game, not too bad and about top 7 on their team. But then after making the trade, LeBron's been attempting about 4 of them per game, making them at a 52.5% clip. So not only taking more of them per game, more than one more catch and shoot 3-point shot per game, obviously playing off the ball more and buying more into that role, but then being a bunch more efficient and getting a bunch more high quality looks. Or then for a guy like Rui Hachimura, for example, attempting about 3.5 catch and shoot threes prior to making the trade, but now going up to 5.7 per game, nearly a 2 3-point shot differential. And for a guy like Rui Hachimura, who can tend to be a bit hesitant and not that open to being a high volume 3-point shooter, that's a gigantic difference. Yes, he might be working on it yet and trying to get back up to that efficiency level, but you really can't argue against open 3-point shots, and that is what Luka Doncic is helping generate their offense. Or even for a guy like Jared Vanderbilt, for example, only attempting about 0.8 of them per game prior to the trade, now up to 1.6 catch and shoot threes per game, and knocking them down at a 42.9% clip. So even with Jared Vanderbilt, who has pretty much been called a liability on offense and especially at the 3-point line, Luka can even help him out and has been helping him out too. So no matter what we look at it, definitely a big change from the 3-point line, operating more out of it, and from all the attention that Luka draws on the court, he's been able to help everyone from Jared Vanderbilt all the way up to LeBron James in the court. And now for some film to show it off. Here we have Luka Doncic coming up, and against a 2-3 zone defense that the Pelicans were playing the other night, Luka gets CJ McCollum to bite on a pump fake, dribbles kind of through it, and draws the attention of Kelly Olynyk, even making him hit the nail here to prevent Luka Doncic from a drive, then kicking it to Dorian Finney-Smith for a wide open 3-point shot. And simply from one pump fake into a little jab step, that's the attention that Luka Doncic draws and the open shots that he helps generate for teammates. Or then a couple of plays later, here we have Luka Doncic getting double teamed and pretty much triple teamed at that, and he could have kicked it to Dorian Finney-Smith for a pretty good shot here, but instead he somehow finds LeBron on the weak side for a wide open shot, nobody within the vicinity for about 15 feet, with Zion overcommitting to help defense here. And how often do you see that LeBron James? Nobody near him and getting a completely wide open catch and shoot shot, which he knocks down for his 50,000th point between the regular season and playoffs. And then finally, for how effortlessly he can penetrate the defense, here we have him blowing by Jose Alvarado, getting to the paint and making Jordan Hawkins and Bruce Brown draw attention to him, faking a lob pass to Jared Vanderbilt, only to kick it out for Shake Milton for a wide open corner 3-point shot, and then him knocking it down. Or then for his ability to get to the paint and find a lob threat. 2 plays in a row here he does that with Jackson Hayes, penetrating the defense, getting to there with his physicality, bodying CJ McCollum on the first play, drawing the attention of both McCollum and Ibmisi, then throwing it over the top to Jackson Hayes. Then on the second play getting past Trey Murphy, and once again throwing it to Jackson Hayes after getting to the teeth of the defense. So no matter what way you look at it, Luka is generating a ton of open shots to their team, whether it's at the rim or at the 3-point line, definitely helping out teammates and getting them more wide open than probably ever before, especially for a guy like LeBron James. And with that being said, what do you guys think? What have been your takeaways from the Lakers' new look offense with Luka Doncic? Is it more the 3-point line? Is it the pace they play at, or what is it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But I think that'll pretty much do it for this one, and if you enjoyed the video, then I'll greatly appreciate it if you dropped a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day or night.